Well, here's the wood headboard that I built a few months ago, and it's held up great. And the best thing about it was that it was cheap and easy and quick to make. The whole thing cost less than about 20 bucks for the 2x3s and 1x2s, and it only took about 2 or 3 days to build the actual frame, and then I had to spackle and paint it. It took another day or so. But let me show you how I built it. Okay, so you saw the headboard we have now. It's something I made. We did not have a headboard for our bed, and we didn't want to go buy an expensive one. So we were looking online for something cheap, something easy to build, something that looked nice. And this was the inspiration for that headboard. It's made by a company called West Elm. I think it's $200 or something. And you can see that you just used what I thought was 2x4s. And these, I think they were 2x2s or 1x2s, but we ended up going 2x3s and 1x2s, but this was basically what we copied off of. I drew it up on Google SketchUp real quickly, and Google SketchUp is great for something like this. You can just real quickly get dimensions and see it from all the different angles, and I could get what each size board I had to cut. And we had a queen size bed, so it's 60 by 80, and I measured. The most important was that these holes aligned up with the holes on the metal frame of our bed. And if you want, I'll have this Google SketchUp plan and materials list and everything on my blog if you want it. And I copied this over and saw what it would look like with the mattress and the pillows to see if the proportions were right, if it wasn't too tall or too short, and we thought that was fine. So a lot of the boards I already had. I had to buy a few more 1x2s. I'm not sure exactly how many, but I'll have the list up on the blog. And there's different types of 1x2s, by the way. There's the rounded edge and there's the square edge. And we went with the rounded edge. We thought that looked a lot better. And 2x3s are only $2, $2.20, and 1x2s are $1 for $8. So it's really cheap. The whole project costs less than 20 bucks to make. And here's the two different types of 1x2s. This is the rounded and this is the square edge. And we went with the rounded edge. Here's with the first boards cut to length using that SketchUp plan. I was just checking to make sure it all lined up. So I made the first box and I cut out all the different pieces with the miter saw. And after I checked that it all fit, I started gluing and nailing it together. And this is a project you're probably going to need a nail gun. I don't know how you could have done it without it. I did it by myself. I was using the anvil as support, and I would hold that box up against the anvil and nail it in with the glue, and just went down the line. And here's what it looked like when it was all over. Now, before the glue set, you could kind of move it around a little, so before it does dry, make sure all those spaces are even and the ends lined up at the same point on each end. And check that before it dries. I countersunk, I glued and screwed from the edges, and I filled that in with spackle at the end so you wouldn't see it. Those screws countersunk into the board. And this is it all kind of roughed together before sanding and everything. This goes along the bottom. I was going to drill 2 holes here that would connect to the bed frame. But real quickly, this took a day or whatever, and you can get the headboard all together. There were these types of joints, this is real close, you can see with the 2 rounded edges it didn't meet flush, so I sanded it after this as well as I could, and I spackled it, and you can't really tell here, but I did use spackle at all the joints. You can see real roughly I just put it in there to kind of bridge that gap, sort of like grout with tile. I wanted to smooth it out a little so you didn't see the nail holes or the screw holes, and I sanded it after all of this was done. I think I put 2 coats of white paint, and I was going to put 2 coats of polyurethane, but I think we just left it white paint. The finish was fine. So this is pretty much the finished product. The painting, the spackling, and the sanding actually I think took a lot longer than building the headboard itself. The headboard only took a couple days, and then sanding and everything and painting took several more days. Here it is from a different angle. I could have used 2x2s, but I like the look of the thinner 1x2s, and everything is held up fine. This was just a test piece I did to see what 2 coats of paint looked like 2 coats with wax, with polyurethane, and we ended up just going with the 2 coats of paint. Here were the bolts that attached to the bed, and I didn't do a really good job of countersinking these, but I didn't want them to be the first thing that came in contact with the wall. I wanted them to be flush so they wouldn't leave marks. And this is the final product on the bed, and like I said, it looks great, it's held up great. We haven't had any problems with it, and it matches everything in our room. So if you want the plans to build it, I'll put the Google SketchUp drawing on my blog. Google SketchUp's free, you can download it, it's really easy to use. It's 3-dimensional, you can rotate it. I'll try to put up that dimension sheet that has all the sizes and the costs and everything. So let me know what you think. Good luck.